hospital, they had, which was on the airport, and 3 large tents they had. There was hundreds of staff, hundreds of people there. And we just kind of got thrown into it. We just went there to see what we could do. Of course, being nurses, emergency nurses, we were like, I want to start IVs, I want to do all this stuff. And we found ourselves seeing patients out in the field that didn't need that stuff any longer. So when we got to this place, I was so excited. I'm like, I'm going to use my skills. And then we got there, and it was like, we could only see about 4 patients in a couple of hours because they were higher acuity level, and we just felt that going out into the community, I could see 100 patients a day where they don't have access to get to these places. So we only did this for a few hours, but it was pretty memorable. This little fella is 3 years old, about the same age as my little peanut back there. I'm sure you've all seen her. And I walked out to triage, and I just started asking to see patients, and I had the charge nurse who spoke Creole was like, hey, that one over there just walked up, go see this one. And the mom swings, I say baby, but he's not a baby, the boy up, and his legs just kind of just flop. Obviously he had no control of them. And seeing those kind of things before, you just know instantly there's something very wrong. So we go in and set him on the table, and as mom's holding him, I can see in the spine is he had a compression fracture TA. I don't know if that means a lot to anybody, but it was not good. He was paralyzed from about his mid-back here down. He had a little bit of movement, but it's been 2.5 weeks. That's a long time. And mom never broke a tear, never panicked. She was just right there with her son. And we're all obviously getting a little nervous because this is big stuff. We got to get him out of here. We got to do all this stuff for him. And nobody was explaining to mom what was going on. They were, whisking him off to X-ray, and mom was just calm and relaxed and smiled. And finally I thought, okay, stop being a nurse for 2 seconds. And I got out my camera and I asked if I could take a picture, and mom said that I could take a picture. And I showed the little boy and just started going through all my pictures. And he just sat there and watched the pictures, and all the PT and everybody's coming in and evaluating him. And he never was fearful, never broke a tear, nothing, just calm and relaxed. And I think I spent this entire trip crying. and even now I could, cry. It's such an emotional thing. But those two were so strong, and he stayed the night, and he got transferred out. He's going to go to Miami, and they're going to hopefully do some work on his spine, and there's hope that he might have a little bit of return of neuro. So he's obviously in my prayers, and you guys can keep him in your prayers too. Yeah. This is just, this little girl, by the way, it took me 4 pictures to get her to smile because she was just so humble. Mom also the same way, and there's over here in another picture is her little brother, which they look like twins. They could have been twins minus the glasses. They came up, it was the end of the day, and we had seen a ton of patients, and they just came up, and I was, writing my stuff down, and I'm reading the complaint, and it said, eyes hurt when reading and headache. And I thought, she needs glasses. But where do you get glasses in Haiti? So I went to Tim, who's the guy that set this up, and I remembered somebody saying something about the Lions coming, and that they were going to come, but they didn't know if they were at this time after the earthquake going to be able to do that. So I went to ask him if there was where can we send this girl? Is there any way that we can send this girl? And he said, well, let's just see if she really needs glasses. So he pulls out his glasses, and he walks up to her and puts the glasses on, and she just put the glasses on right away. And then we make, okay, how do we test? How do you test out with nothing, with no supplies, if somebody really needs glasses? So we took an index card and a marker and put an arrow, and we would stand 6 feet, and then 8 feet, and 10 feet. And without the glasses, she would just say to the interpreter, she can't see it. She was just, I can't answer it. And then she put on the glasses, and she blossomed, and she's like, it's pointing up, it's pointing down. And then he would turn it around, and she would say, I can't see it, but he was trying to trick her. So there was nothing for her to see, so she was absolutely, instantly was able to see. And she just sat there real quietly, but you could see that she was gleaming. And then Tim just says, it hurts, and walks away. And I'm like, no, you're supposed to be the one that says, these are for you. And he just walked away, and I explained, I was just, of course, amazed by his giving, and then not needing to be praised for it, just walked away. And he didn't even tell the girl at that point, so I had to go through the interpreter and explain to this little girl that she was going to be able to keep these glasses. In Haiti, if you have glasses, that is some stature. You've got some glasses, that is a big deal. So she's sitting there, and I start writing down. I had explained to the interpreter, you need to really take very good care of these glasses. These are amazing. You need to go when you're playing. You need to make sure that you put them away at night. All that stuff. And I start writing down what we were doing and trying to get, because she still needs an evaluation, and writing this information down. And I turned my head, and this girl is right here. And I went to turn my face like this, and she goes like that, really quick. And then, of course, Mom starts crying and holding her and hugging her. And the mom just smiled and very politely the entire time. And then she went back to her mom really quick and sat there and just, she could hardly contain herself. She was so excited, but trying to be humble at the same time. And the brother was there, and he was very excited for her. And as they're walking away, all the girls, like the mom age women that were in line, were going, "Oh, my belle," just telling her how beautiful she was. And she just walked away like, I have glasses. And she could see this even better part. It's not just that she had been given this gift, is that now she can see, and what can she do with that now? So that was my favorite story and favorite picture. And this is really sad. So sorry about the happy and then bring it down. This baby, I think it's a girl. She's got little the knots in her hair, which was typical for girls. We went to the National Cathedral, and we pulled up in our, what we call a tap. It's like a taxi where you kind of load up in the back and you tap on the top when you want to stop. And we were driving by, and this little girl, you can't really see with the picture, but her eyes were just mesmerizing. She stared at me while we were driving, and we went past and stopped, and she stared at me the entire time. She's naked. She's sitting in water, and I think it's a girl. I really don't know, but it's a girl. Sitting in this water that's running off the National Cathedral, and it's filthy, filthy water. And there's bodies up on the upper end of the hill that were dead, and she's just sitting in this water, and there's nobody around her. It looks like she's sitting next to somebody, but this was me trying with my camera to zoom very far. So there's actually, this is in another tent away where this baby was sitting. Nobody is around her. 10 feet, probably like about where I'm sitting right now. She's sitting by herself, and nobody's there. That one broke my heart. So it just says that there's so much work that needs to be done. So you have that blessing of this little girl that gets her glasses and can move on in her life, and then who's caring for this baby? Who knows?